I lose, it'll take a little longer. I don't know what stage we'll lose yet, but you never know. You never know. All right. So I don't know if this is a move they know. How old does this account? Semi-new one as well, but you never know. So they're playing e6. So I assume they're either going to go knight f6. Sometimes you think d6 is going to be played. So either they're playing the Nimzo. Okay. No. So they're developing pieces, but I think immediately I can probably push. I won't do it. Okay. Probably I can play d5. But once again, for the sake of playing moves I would recommend and just the importance of just developing pieces and not blundering out of the opening, not pushing pawns unless you think it's going to turn into something. This, by the way, certainly better for white. I'll check afterwards. Not ideal, I guess. I can block with the knight or the bishop. In fact, probably blocking with the knight is better because I have a feeling they're going to take and try to damage this and assume that this is better for them. I don't think it is better for them, so I am going to play this way. Or yes, I'm the most disrespectful one out there. No, this is just a slow run, just which is going to be to 2000 to kind of teach people how to basically get to 2000. Just watching me play it. It is an authorized speedrun account, correct? I can go here if I want to. They'll probably go h6. And I can drop back here, and then I've achieved them pushing a pawn for no reason. So I think I might do that, literally just to get them to play h6 here as well. I mean, no, I'll do this. This is not necessarily the biggest threat. They will likely just do this, and I'm going to move. I wouldn't take this here, only because I don't want the queen on f6 with maybe added pressure there. But whatever, I drop back, and it's all gravy. Now I've kind of unpinned, and I've also accomplished this. And here they've actually blundered a piece. So this is me just being safe and not doing random things. So here they may have thought, oh, they're gonna take this, or maybe they'll block this, but they've blundered because after I take it and they take my bishop, I actually just take back. And yeah, they may have considered something like this, but I would have dropped back too. In fact, I actually do not have to take with this, because this knight is actually kind of chilling. So here's an important thing too. The knight on c3 is good on c3 sometimes, but if they castle this way, I probably am going to continue to try to bring this knight towards this king. So whilst it's tempting for me to go this way, after I do that, probably I end up trying to bring it this way anyway. So I'm going to take with the queen. I wouldn't normally want to do this, but it does also accomplish the fact that this knight can no longer jump there or there, and the queen is not going to be a check threat. So I'm going to go here, and then afterwards I'm going to bring this knight to g3, and that allows me to come closer to the king anyway. So exactly what I'm saying. So once again, I might be tempted to play moves like this, but I still do not see any reason to. And you would see that after pushing this, they would maybe have this square if this wasn't there. So I'm going to continue to play this nice and slowly. I don't actually have to move this yet because there's no reason to. I can actually consider g3 too. Or I can consider h4, which is a weird move, but it may allow me to do this. This is just obviously really, really good for me. I can castle long if I want to. Potentially get a rook lift this way. I'm just walking through some of the ideas here. Some of what I would be considering. So if I castle long, it looks like it's weakening. Because some of these pawns are being pushed, but I really don't see how they take advantage of this. They're going to have to do a lot of pawn storm over here to kind of get anything in. Castle long, if I get something like, queen f4, rook d3, and some rook g3s, I might be able to sack, I might be able to take there, and very, very, very winning, of course. I think I will just do that and castle long as well, because I do like my chances at attacking this king with so many pieces starting to cluster towards them. So they are pushing a pawn. Now, do I take the pawn? Is the question. Or not. I don't have to take the pawn. In fact, I can actually just give them the pawn. Hello, Dusting and Flying. I'm good. How are you doing? Defender Bro, he was so good, man. He had the best speed runs. So I'm actually going to give them the pawn. Why would I do that? Well, if I take, maybe they take this way. Maybe the queen comes in somehow. Maybe I do just take it. I'm just considering not wasting a tempo taking it and actually just dropping back and then pushing this way. And then that way they wouldn't have a pawn here. So you know what? There are a couple of reasons why I'm actually not going to take this and I'm going to give them the pawn. One reason is if I take this and they take back with the pawn, that actually helps them develop. And I don't want to do that when I'm winning this drastically. The downsides are I then have to choose, do I bring the knight to g3 and continue what I was saying, or do I bring it here and keep my king a little safer? So that's the only thing I'm considering. Because after this, they take, I basically control the whole center here. And then I think I'm going to go this way. And if they take, I'm going to go e4. And then after e4, let's just say something like f5, they'll be getting absolutely crushed, unfortunately. I'm going to go to g3. If I given any thoughts on saying me pawn instead of my pawn, I probably do that anyway sometimes. Get away from me, pawn! Yeah, I do stuff like that, I think, anyway. I'm not British. Or are you asking dusting and flying? I am an Aussie. Get away from me, pawn man. Blimey. Alright, so I'm going to stick with my plan. They can't do anything here. If they go there, I'll just take. No problem. I control the entire center pretty much here at the moment. They can't take this because it's defended one, by this. 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, and 3. If they did something like this to try to break it down, I'm actually going to do nothing about it. And I'm just probably going to push. Or I could take, I'm not sure. I'm up 2 pawns. This is an interesting move. It's not a bad move. Now I just have to decide what I want to do in terms of how do I break through here. I could go f6, sorry, e5 and bring the knight in this way. They're going to try to go this way, but this is not as threatening for me, I think. Maybe I shouldn't have castled long. I'm not actually sure. I may consider even sacrificing a knight here to get in. But if you could visualize that, that's obviously quite nice. Maybe I should have taken the other way. You know what? For the sake of what I've been doing on the speedrun, I'm going to continue to play relatively solid. Here I actually may push this pawn because it does force this knight to move and they have to basically go back, I believe. And then if I push again and they take, I'm actually going to be forcing that away. Oh, you know what? It's a weird move, but I'm going to play it anyway. Alright, I'm going to play this move because it brings a piece closer to their king. I don't see any way they get rid of this knight at this stage unless they push a pawn. And if they push this pawn, this is not going to turn out very well for them, I think. But in the long run, not immediately. They actually do nothing about it, so they're actually going to be losing a rook here. I'm not sure if you guys can see what the tactic is. I'm not sure if you guys want me to wait so for you to see what the tactic is. So they're very likely losing a piece, or a rook, or a checkmate. That's what I was trying to set up with this move. So we're going to push. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be calculating wrong, by the way. I'm going to take. Okay, so they're going to move this knight. Most likely. I'm going to push again. So actually, I suppose they don't have to. I guess they could take with the queen. They can't actually take with the queen. All right, I'm going to attack. I'll calculate. So the idea was after this, if they take with the no, but the knight's there. What am I talking about? I'm just tripping. I'm fully tripping here. After takes, I go this way. No, I go here right away anyway, I suppose. No, but then this. I actually miscalculated this. I made a bit of a boo-boo. I think I'll probably be able to get away with it, but I did make a boo-boo. Now, I could do something really weird. No, I won't do that. I made a mistake. I'm man enough to say that. I might go here. No, you know what? Let me just start with this. The thing is, after this, they do have knight f4, actually. But then I have this. And maybe this. You know what? I'm going to go h3, g4. I did make a bit of a mistake here. I overestimated something. Hello, Abu. How you doing, man? Oh, so they actually just give me a free piece, apparently. So they did kind of crumble here a bit. Now, I might just take the piece. It looks free to me. show you guys what I was calculating after the game. Basically, I didn't think that I kind of missed that they had knight e7 before. If they didn't have knight e7, I was going to push, which then they either take with the queen and I threaten a checkmate, or if they didn't take with the queen and they took with the pawn, I would have gone here. Wait, I actually was getting my squares completely mixed up. You'll have to ignore me about the other tactic I thought I had. There was a tactic when I hallucinated which squares were what. There could have been a tactic. We'll check afterwards. I was a little bit tripping, I think. Anyway, so they're attacking my rook. Look at this. No, they're actually attacking my rook. They have a nice diagonal. I think I'm going to immediately attempt to win a pawn. If they go behind the pawn instead of pushing it, that it's a little bit sad, unfortunately. This is not as easy as it could have been. Oh, I've got a minute. I better actually speed up. Jeez, I didn't see this. All right, give me a second, people. I'm gonna actually have to speed up, I realized. I will talk through the game afterwards. I had no idea I was so low on time. There's no increase. I will still likely win this game, hopefully. If I don't, that'll be unfortunate, but it's likely I can still pull this one off with the time situation. I'll just have to play this a little bit quicker. There's no increment, no. We'll see if we can pull it off. They may move quick thinking that I'm going to flag, but I should probably be okay, depending on what they do. I'll walk through this stuff after the game. So it's just tactics and cleanup pretty much at the moment. Okay. This is not going to be much of an issue for me, I think, at the time. But I just wanted to be aware of it. I wanted to keep my eye on the clock, of course. They can't actually get in, so I'm not quite sure what they're doing. They want to prevent this. I'll just go king d2, rook e1. Say rook e1, rook d. Anyway, this should be over very shortly, by the way. I don't even have to be honest, I don't actually have to spend too long here. I still have almost a minute, so this is actually a long time. It's a long time for a position like this. They'll be getting mated shortly. Pretty much not much to do here, honestly. Kind of same stuff gonna happen, I think, here. I just can take, so. Hello, speed. Also, I would take with the knight, not the rook. Okay, I'll take this first. Here, and now they might take my knight, say, oh no, my knight, and then it'll be a checkmate. But yes, when I realized I had a minute, I figured I could pull this off. But I had no idea, I didn't realize at that time how low I was on time. I'm just going to go here and threaten a mate as well, like this, so. Many, many, many threats, and if they go there, that's just checkmate 1. Good game. Good game. We'll check this out. Aussie, don't ban you. Why would I ban you, Speed? Why? What have you done to where I would ban you, Mr. Speechless? I've not banned you previously. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Abu, what's that? You want my statistics, or are you talking about Aura? I think you're talking Aura. Hello, Hazem. No, there was no increment, but to be honest, it's not the most complicated position for that. So a lot of new accounts in this ELO range that I've faced so far. This one's only a couple months old, I think. I definitely think they played better than a 500. I did make some blunders. So immediately in the opening, I thought I actually could have probably pushed right away, but I didn't want to. But I do think this is probably good for me if they take. If they didn't take, then it's different. But I figured I'd just go for this. Yes, knight c6 is not correct. I think knight f6 is better, but I don't know. Maybe it's all normal here. Here I was just, yeah, just developing, trying not to do anything crazy. Went back, they blundered the piece. And then from here, it was honestly not going to be the most complicated game, I think. I shouldn't have probably rushed into castling long, but I had a lot of attacking ideas. So I figured I'd just prove, just don't blunder. Your opponent's blunder. But you could see I didn't blunder in the opening. They blundered a piece. So that was only kind of even able to have happened because I was just bringing my pieces out, not pushing pawns randomly. Here, I chose to allow them to take that. Originally, I was considering this, but I wanted to kind of keep up with my idea of maybe jumping in this way. I did play some weird moves. I miscalculated a few things. Like here, yes, I miscalculated. Originally, I thought was going to go here. And then after something like this, for example, I would have, sorry, like this, attacking this, just a lot of pressure. But then, yes, they have this, of course. Whoopsies. That wasn't the original idea. The original idea was after this. For some reason in my head, I was going here and attacking a rook. So that made no sense. And then I realized I had knight f5 anyway, which kind of holds everything together. But if knight f5, I would have actually had this, probably. So, oh no, but then they have this. So I was just missing a lot of potential things. But that's why, if you think you've blundered, don't continue with the blundering plan. Switch something up, you know? Like, do something different. I realized I blundered, so I decided not to push, even though that was what I was originally thinking about. And then I guess, thankfully for me, they actually just blundered the knight. So at this stage, I'm up 4 points of material. They attack. Maybe they thought they could get away with it because I was playing so slowly and I only had a minute left and I didn't realize. But yes, from here, they just kind of, you know, maybe they thought they were going to play quick, but I was just setting up too many threats, unfortunately. This point, you know, should be pretty explanatory. Self-explanatory. I was just bringing in the pieces, trying not to blunder again, and just bringing all pieces towards the king. And here I set this up because for whoever wasn't able to visualize, if they take the knight, it's just a checkmate. King has no squares. The other idea here was when you have something like this, you can bring this knight in there, for example. This is also good. Had they not pushed this pawn and I pushed a random pawn, if I went here and they did something like this, I would have had a checkmate like this as well. So just too many threats. But yes, good game to Mr. NXM. They played pretty well until, you know, obviously they just blundered the piece, unfortunately.